going on, Clarence?
What's happening? You can see me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man.
You got a powerful testimony, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Powerful testimony. So before we get started, I'll ask you a couple questions. What's your name? What city you chiming in from? And what do you do professionally?
Okay, my name's Clarence Jordan. I'm right here in New Orleans, Louisiana, on the outskirts of New Orleans. My profession, I'm a licensed real estate agent, as well as I work at the chemical plant as a coordinator.
Okay. Now, one may say, you're a real estate agent, but you joined the REI90. Why?
Because real estate agents, we just dare to make money off of commission, just to get somebody into the house to make money, so I really joined as a real estate agent, one, to make money, but also to get myself in position, because I always wanted to be a real estate investor, and I thought that way that was one of the go-to avenues of getting my license.
Right. So being a realtor really didn't help you become an investor. It just helped you to be a realtor to sell properties, correct?
Yeah, just to sell properties. I mean, I have access to the MLS. I get to see some things before other people see. So that's the only benefit that I see now that I am a real estate investment and learning everything I learned from REI90.
Perfect. So tell us about your background. I know when you first came over, you had a financial ruin. You had went through bankruptcy before.
Yeah, I went through bankruptcy back in 2011, mismanaging, didn't really know what I was getting into. Got a broker that brought me into a piece of property. My score probably was like 580 right after Hurricane Katrina. Got a brand new house, and I had what they call like two mortgages. One was like a balloon, and I didn't understand all of that. So one of them kept going up, and the other one, it kind of stayed dormant, but it just got where it was out of control.
So you mean to tell me you went through bankruptcy, Clarence, but you didn't let that stop you?
No, once I filed bankruptcy, I think I was over $300,000 in debt. And I was like, you know what? I still want to get back in. I went through Credit Coach of America, Lexington Law, repair my credit now. I was just reading all this data and paying. I spent over $10,000 from 2011 to 2018 to get my credit where it needs to be at. Got my real estate license. Then I purchased my second home in 2018 because I really wanted to get another house. So
it took you 7 years to get in position.
Yeah, 7 years, over $10,000.
So when you hear people complaining about a couple dollars and it's they 30 days into something and they not where they want to be, like, what's your viewpoint on that? People who are looking for that quick fix.
Yeah, being a real estate agent and part of the REI90 now, I was doing credit repair myself a while back, and it was a lot. And I started telling people it took you 20 years to mess your credit up, and you want us to fix it in 30 days. That's not going to happen.
So don't call Clarence, call your creator.
Yeah.
Man, so you went through bankruptcy because of your lack of financial education. You just signed on a dotted line, thought you was doing the right thing, but now you learned from your mistakes. How was it mentally you was able to rebound and still invest in yourself? Because a lot of people, I've seen people, Clarence, make a $300 investment. It doesn't go the way they want it to go, and they never make another investment in themselves. How is it that you were able to mentally rebound?
One of the things, like you saying, mindset. I had the mindset that I got to go get mine. I mean, I haven't shared my story. I'm an ex-drug dealer. I did 3 years in prison at the age of 19, and I always had a grind to go get it. So the mindset was, there's always a yes out there. You can have so many no's, so many doors closed, but you got to have in your mind that there is a yes, and you have to keep pushing. You have to keep that bullseye in front of you. And that's what I do every day. I'm always strategizing. I'm always writing, making sure I keep my mind focused on my goal and on that target. Ain't nobody else going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself.
Definitely. How, did you still have to, were you still faced with obstacles? People may say, well, you have it easy, you're a realtor, I'm sure you still had obstacles, correct?
Yes, a lot of obstacles. I always had, like you say, people saying, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you spending the money on this? Why are you investing in that? So I told my wife this year, we moving in silence. Let's move in silence, because if you have all those negative Nancy's in your ear, you'll never get nowhere. So we're separating ourselves from a lot of different people who's not on the same mindset. So that's why I'm glad in the REI90 plug, because guess what? I always got people around that we all are pushing each other for the same goal.
Definitely. Now, let me ask you this, and this might be TMI. Was the people who was doing the most talking, were they the brokest?
They was the ones that's always borrowing. Yeah.
They come to you, be like, cuz, I don't know about that, but let me borrow $25. So it's mind blowing. But society has taught us to enable them.
Yeah.
And not only will we take bad advice from broken people, but then we continue to enable them.
Yeah.
It's sick. So you join the REI90, you've overcome bankruptcy, you've overcome financial ruin, you understand the power of having a mentorship. You still, even after 7 years and 10,000 and fixing your credit, you turn around and make another investment into REI90. Talk about like what you've learned, how has it shifted your mindset and moving forward?
Yeah, so one of the things I would say, investing in REI90 was one of the greatest things I could have ever done. Just listening to the tools and the tips that you're given. Like you said, nobody is teaching this. Right now, I'm educating my wife, I'm educating my daughter on everything, even with the team with Jabril, going into some of those just refreshers. My wife and them, they was like, man, that is awesome. But just being a part of REI90 and learning the tips and the trade, and I always use what you say, Will, you said it's a system. Saving yourself time, energy, and money. In the streets, we call it's a shortcut. I'm gonna give you the hookup. So follow the system, saving yourself time, energy, and money, and having the mindset on what Will is teaching. Just follow the script, follow the plan, follow the blueprint. And if you do those things, you're going to win. It's a win-win.
Definitely. So not only did you change your mindset, you started winning mentally. You done went out there and got about $140,000 after this is someone who's filed bankruptcy. He didn't let no obstacle, no financial ruin. He plugged into a system that gave him a solution. So we help you through strategy and your own efforts, and you putting the work in and you believing in you. You get 146,000. We send you over to our one of our certified partners. Here's the approval, ladies and gentlemen. Well, these are the two of the many loans he's gotten, and then down below right here is the pre-approval he got for over $240,000. He just got an investment property worth $250,000. Which means he only needs 3 more of these to build a $1 million real estate portfolio. And talk to us about that process. Was it simple? Were some of your guesswork eliminated by having that blueprint? Talk about how you was able to get the credit. You got the investment property. Were you nervous? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like Will said, one of the things I've learned, he said, remove the emotions out the game, right? So all my emotions was going, and you're doing this, you're doing that, how it's going to work out. And Will taught us to follow the numbers, follow the blueprint, the 4-step quadrant, your ROI. So I was running numbers. I was doing deals, doing evaluation deals, and I followed the numbers. Of course, it was a little nervous. Even my wife and my daughter was like, we want to see the check. We want to see the cashier's check, going to the bank, pulling out $70,000.
Okay, talk your stuff, man. Talk your stuff.
So, so we was nervous. We was looking at all the money that was sitting in the account. Yes, yeah, I want to go get me a new whip, a new car, but I had to take the emotions out of the game and say, no, I want these investments to sustain my livelihood in the future. If I want to go walk on a lot and get a new vehicle, I don't want to have to pay for it. I'm gonna let the tenants pay for it. So I'm learning these tips and these trades. But like Will was saying, it's a lot of emotions that may come in during that process. But if you follow the plan, you have the A team, You have the steps in place. You got your credit in position. You got your business funding. You have your business funding and your business bank account. You go to the lender. You got pre-approved. You go in and find that property. You have the property manager. I didn't have to do none of the work. They had the property managers on deck. They had the real estate agents jumping and running, going, because it's almost 3 hours from where I live. The property that I found on the MLS, so I had people jumping at the bit, because the closing attorney, and he said, man, you the man. We waiting on you. We can't do nothing without you. He said, because they can't get paid until we come and sign that check or sign the paperwork.
That's simple. So hold on, Clarence. So you filed bankruptcy. It took you 7 years to get your credit right. It cost you $10,000 to fix your credit. You invested into REI90. You get $146,000, and you done bought a property 3 hours away from you.
Yeah, yeah. And looking for the next one.
So a couple more questions. So this approval you got from one of our trusted resources. He made a comment to me, and he was like, Will, I've been in this industry over 30 years doing loans and lending, and I'm also an investor. He said, your students, they are on it. They know more than some of my investors who've been investing for 5 and 10 years, because there's a lot of people out there who just buy real estate to buy and wonder why we got to come and take their properties because they over leverage. He was like, your students, they come in assertive, they come in with posture, they come in knowing what they want, and they actually come in with good deals. So when you went through that whole process, and I'm pretty sure you in our contact communicated, how did that make you feel as a investor and as a person and as a man, being able to feel confident to make that transaction?
It's unexplainable. It's unexplainable when you know more than the realtors, you know more than some of the bankers, having that 18. I mean, no one, just for the price of REI90, Will, just your contacts is worth that tuition, if you want to call it. Besides all of the data and all of the information, just the plug that you give us is worth that little. So you have to invest in yourself. But it made me feel so confident knowing everything that I wanted. I had to go to, because of Juneteenth, the banks were closed, so I had to wait the next day, going 3 hours away because I wanted to be there. I went to a little town, and the bankers there she didn't even know how to do a cashier's check. I was in there educating them as bankers. I was like, where they do this at? I had to educate her on what I needed on there, who it was going to. I mean, just knowing all the knowledge and the data that you have, putting us in the right position, being in the best position, and knowing when you need to use the right information.
Man, good stuff, Clarence. Man, I'm proud of you, man. I remember when we first talked a few years ago, you just telling me your story and your journey and how you overcame bankruptcy. Not just the physical portion of bankruptcy, but man, mentally that devastates a lot of people because of the stigma that comes along with that. But you persevered, you went out there, you didn't give up on yourself, you didn't give up on your family, and you overcame that financial ruin. And now your family is forever changed financially.
Yeah.
Like you now have an asset, and I'm not sure how old the kids are, but you now have an asset in 10 years you can borrow against, to where if you wanted to pay for college, you can. Like wealthy people, they don't get loans and they don't pay cash for their college. They borrow against their real estate portfolio. They borrow against their art. They borrow against their watch collection. They borrow against things that they know that they can liquidate in a crunch time. So definitely, I'm proud of you. Any last words you want to have or give to people who may be on the fence or who've been kind of hanging around for the past few years in that financial ruin, but they haven't pulled the trigger and made a decision yet?
Yeah, I would just say you got to dig deep and go for it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You can't pick up the phone and call somebody and say, look, I need you to help me or co-sign for me and get $50,000, $70,000. Will is giving you the game to get in position. Follow the blueprint. Save yourself time, energy, and money. It's the mindset. All the things that you want in life, the lavish things, the different cars, or whatever you want, it's there, but you just have to wait until you get in the right position to get that. I tell my wife all the time, we're going to get the house that we want. We're going to get the cars that we want, but we want to be in a position where other people are paying for
There
it.
you go. Now you just created your bank to where when you are ready, you could borrow against the investment property to get your house to live in, and the tenants paid for that.
Yep, yep, yep.
That's what's up, man. Well, Clarence, man, thank you, man. I'm looking forward to this continued journey. I know this is just one of many to you building your $1 million real estate portfolio. So thank you, man.
Thank you, King.
Absolutely.